Hi, everybody, and what a surprise this is. We're in South Korea at the Olympics, as you can see by the flags. They just finished up the medals award for, what was the sport?
Curling.
Corn dog.
It was the corn dog eating while curling competition.
Right. And this
there
is
was skeet shooting.
And this was the first time in the history of Olympics there was a four-way tie between the U.S., Canada, Mexico, and who know the Shriners? What were the Shriners doing in this?
I didn't even know they were a nationality.
I never saw their fezzes.
Well, there you go.
Well, there you go. So we got to get on a plane now so we can get back for the show on the Todd and Erin morning stream at GetFartDaily.com. Say something South Korean, Erin. There you go. There you go. USA, USA. All right. Well, boy,
that was a long flight.
My bum hurts. Let's go to the mountain cam, shall we?
Share that.
I just did. Morning Mountain Cam brought to you by
Brio Technologies, your experts in lighting, sound, and video. Just go to brioaudiovisual.com. Look how much lighter it is now. It's almost like we're not living in darkness like a mole anymore. This is very exciting.
Someone owes me 2 snowstorms.
Really?
Yes.
It's because you actually turned on the snowblower and now you feel cheated, right?
I warmed it up, and it's even in my garage facing out, which means garage door goes up. Brrr. Saturday night was supposed to happen. Last night was supposed to happen. I know Davis County is getting hammered right now.
Sorry, guys.
And this is Monday, the 26th, by the way, if you're watching on demand. Because you're going, what snow? It's June. Which could happen.
It's entirely possible.
It's like August. What are they talking about snow for? Very disappointed.
In what?
Well, in the whole snowstorm thing. I feel like I have been cheated. I can't even find my shovel, though.
I don't want to say this to you, but you do this every year. Every year you wait for the storm of the century. Every year you get all excited and you get everything, you canned goods, you make sure we got the snow tires on, and you lie in wait. You just wait. You just wait, and then it's not the storm of the century, and your heart is broken again.
Snowstorm interruptus.
I don't even know how to cheer you up, baby.
There is no way. We should mention, Erin and I were both standing at the kitchen sink the other day, on Saturday. And Erin looks over to me in an astonished look and says, "Oh, happy anniversary 2 days ago."
Yeah.
So our house has been a pit of pestilence with, let's run down it. Pneumonia, cold, double earache, pink eye, got you there.
Double ear infection.
Didn't see that one coming.
Poor Zach.
So, yeah.
And then Zoe, and then with the eternal cough. So,
and now,
it's all been working out for us.
And now our nanny is sick with it, too. And so with all that going on, we forgot our anniversary, both of us.
That's good. I didn't forget, actually, honey. I knew. Well, no, I always... Okay, you have...
What?
Well, no, you have dyslexia, so you don't remember numbers. And so I've never been the person who sits there and lies in wait to see if you'll forget so I can torture you, because that's really crappy.
So
I always warn you in advance, like, hey, here comes somebody's birthday, or here's my birthday, or here's...
2 weeks.
I do that because it's really sucky to do that to you.
Then what the hell happened this time, lady?
I did tell you 2 weeks ago. It's just the day
So why didn't it happen?
Because we were both sick, and so the day of I went, this is going to be a do-over.
No.
It's going to be this
20
is what's
plus
happening.
years of bliss.
How many years?
20 plus.
How many?
More than 20. Less than 24. More like 22. 3. 1. 21 years of wedded bliss. So are we ever going to do this over or what?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we have a do-over plan. Right, It'll be okay.
All right.
We don't suck as much as we think we do.
Are we talking about the curling later? Can we talk about it now?
I think we can talk about it now. I just don't
Holy mackerel.
How did this become a thing, curling? It was always sort of like the table tennis of the winter games. Like, there you go. There you go. Here it is.
No, naive person from the West who does not know. Number one, I don't know how they score. Okay? I don't know. They talk 5 out, 3 in. I don't know what they're talking about. But I could not stop watching, and it came down to the Swiss and the USA team. And the USA, I don't think they've won gold forever.
Ever.
And it's a bunch of guys, not Olympic form, you would think, physically.
It's kind of the guys.
Just
it's
regular,
like the guy sport.
Regular dudes, in their late 30s, 40s, 45s. And they decided to take on the
Not wearing
Swedes.
spandex.
No,
spandex.
for a reason.
Yeah, that's okay.
And they made the shot, and at the end, and it was perfect, and they win gold, and they're freaking out, which is great. But I noticed one thing.
Uh-oh.
Curling is the only winter sport where you get to yell at each other. And no one else...
No, what you mean, like verbal abuse, or what are you talking about?
No, there's two ends of the thing, obviously.
Yeah.
I call it a thing.
So it's your team play. It's your team.
Here's your here's your target up here. You got a target here, and then down here, that's where you curl from. And so the guys at either end are going like this. So, what are you going to do? You're going to hit number one and bounce it up number two? And the guy goes, yeah, I was thinking that. Either I was going to do this. Hey, the Swiss are getting kind of pissed off. They were taking so long. Let them eat cheese. The Swiss cheese. He's like, I know, but they got those cool army knives. So you got to be careful. All right, let's curl.
Well, I did not
That's
know
what it's
that.
like. That's what it's like. And they get to yell, and the crowd is silent. And they listen to them yell. And
So basically, they're doing strategy and stuff and screeching at each other?
Yes.
And isn't strategy supposed to be like all silent?
No.
And cunning? And
No, because there's nothing the other team can do. They have to stand. It's not like they're goalies.
That's a good point.
They just stand there and just pray it doesn't happen. And it did end gold.
Wow.
It was
Now,
pretty
what
fun.
happened? What happened with women's hockey, ice hockey? Because this was sort of awesome.
Canada. Oh, Canada just won like the last. By the way, if I give you facts and numbers, don't believe them. I'm kind of generalizing with sports. So Canada has won like the last 4 years. And it's come down to Canada just being number one.
And this is women's ice hockey.
Yeah.
Okay.
And our girls, our women.
So this was kind of like that incredible soccer moment a few Olympics back during the Summer Olympics when our women just rocked it. I mean, it's like this, except for now it's on ice. Okay?
Yeah, and so they basically stuck to it, and there was a save by the U.S. goalie at the end, and the game was over.
Yes.
So they're kind of fun to watch because they're like crazy and they're nuts.
But what was with the Canadian girl with her silver? She like ripped it off her neck on the podium or something?
Silver or bronze, and she took it off and she wouldn't wear it.
I won't even put this on my neck.
That's what roids do to you kids. Don't do them.
That seems a little pissy. And
Don't
the Canadians are always so polite.
I know.
She must be from another country. She can't really be Canadian.
These are tough.
They must have imported her because they're always so polite.
And Lindsey Vonn.
We love her.
We do. And is she just always pretty? Even when she's grunting and making faces and stuff like that, she's just a beautiful person.
This is the saddest story, but David, our stylist, who we love and I've known for most of my life.
We call him a stylist because he charges more. Go ahead.
He came sweeping in on Saturday because I went, and Zoe had her first grown-up haircut. She got a little bob. It's really cute. And he was wearing this fabulous jacket, and it was obviously a ski jacket. It was a spider, and it had all of these cool logos on it. And
that's why we pay him too much. What's that stuff?
And I said, dude, what's that? Is that from the Olympics? And he goes, no. And he explained.
What is it?
He had this picture, and he'd put it on his Facebook page, and this big, beautiful, inspirational thing. It's Lindsey Vonn's jacket. His brother-in-law used to be on the ski team with her.
No, wait a minute. Wait, she had it on her body?
Yes. So
what?
And David loves her, so he had this beautiful inspirational thing. If I've been wearing this all week, and I've been meditating and just sending all my energy to Lindsey, and I'm so proud, and to have this moment, this connection with her, because he's got a massive girl crush on her. I mean, he does.
Right.
And he's so thrilled. And after he wrote this beautiful post on Facebook, and everybody had answered him, oh my gosh, because he's got a huge following. His brother-in-law calls him and he goes, because what had happened is that the jacket had been left at his brother-in-law's house,
right.
and he kept going, hey, Vaughn, are you going to pick this up? Nah, just keep it. And that's why he gave it to David.
Oh, okay.
Except for one small problem. He goes, dude, it's not Lindsay's, it's her ex-husband's.
Oh.
And he's like, I've been wearing the ex-husband's jacket.
Oh, that's...
And he even showed me the tag inside where it was like written Vaughn that was for him.
Oh, voodoo, that's what that is. Because I was thinking...
He was heartbroken.
I was thinking if she had sweated... in the jacket.
Well, somebody sweated, but it wasn't Lindsay.
Right. But they would have had DNA and they could have cloned her. And by the way, when I said she's beautiful, I should say first that incredibly talented and unbelievable. And then
but she is beautiful in every way. This woman has had 2 career-ending injuries, and she fought back from them. She's at an age now that's considered
29.
Unimaginable. Yeah, she's incredible. So
anyway.
But David's heartbreak was he kept turning the jacket.
Pretty cool.
But you could see Vaughn right there on the label. And I went, I know, honey. I'm sorry.
So let's talk about Utah, the Utah nurses. Can we do that?
Oh, man.
And what's going on nationally with that?
Okay, well, you know, the Me Too movement now is, of course, it's spread to almost every industry, and this is basically talking about sexual harassment.
And you only hear about the big ones that are in entertainment or big, you know, news.
Big corporate and things like that. But it's really interesting. Megan Justice is one of the travel nurses here in Utah. That means that she leapfrogs from different ERs because that's her specialty. And she said, this is par for the course, unfortunately. She says, we're very hands-on with our patients in the ER, and a lot of times they're very physically ill. They don't know what they're thinking. She said that we have a lot of people who, you know, might be on drugs or drunk or whatever. She said, it is constant. She said, grabbing their chests, grabbing their butt, saying things to them, being called a cute little thing. She'll lean over to put in an IV line, and it's just, and she said, it's important to shine a light on this and see how unfair this is. And the picture that you just saw was working with a newborn in the isolation chamber. And she said, the dad of the baby came up and grabbed me by the butt when my hands were inside the ISO chamber with his infant. I mean, this is the kind of crap they have to put up with all the time. And it's interesting to me, and I hadn't thought of it, but because it's one of those careers where it is like an intimate moment because, you know, this is a person working on your body and working with you, but the fact that you would violate them like that, it's very unfair.
When I was in, I had some heart work done, and when I was in, basically, I mean, they do crawl on you. They are going over and reaching and stuff if your bed's against the wall to get over to the IV and clear it and do all this stuff. Obviously, I wouldn't do anything. But they are in very close proximity to you, and so no excuse, obviously.
So I'm not sure why, men would think that would be permission to like touch somebody.
I don't know.
And there's a big difference. There's a big difference between touching your nurse on the arm like that and grabbing her. I mean,
look, you're in a very as the patient, you're in a very vulnerable position because, you know, if the nurses could, you know what they do if you went and groped them and stuff. All they have to do is grab a hold of your catheter tube. It looks like this, and just that will get your attention, won't it? Yeah, just a little bit of that action. Little double Dutch. There you go, double Dutch.
You know, they're having a hard time with it because hospital administration's been going through this, where they're like, women will come in and go,
what do you do?
This is crap. And so what their thing is, they'll send somebody else into that room.
Right.
Because if it is a patient, and particularly if they're not in their right mind, they still have to care for them, but they're just like, but the nurse has the right to go, this is crap. I'm not going to put up with this. So it is interesting to know how you work in a situation that peculiar. And they're saying, we get the difficulty, but every one of them, I'm tired of it. I don't, you know, it's not right.
Well,
but no, not every single nurse, but obviously the nurses.
All guys are jerks.
No, but the nurses who have to go through this are really frustrated. So, but it's one of those unique and bizarre positions where even the nurses are like, we're not sure how to fix this.
Oh, I was wrong.
Based on the patients and based on what happens.
I was wrong. It is every nurse has had this experience. I'm sorry, I read the article. It is every nurse has had this issue. Which I just find is so weird.
There's something weird about the intimacy of having someone lean over you and caring for you and...
Well, you've seen.
And I've had nurses apologize for like brushing over me, and I'm like, "Are you kidding? You're helping me." And I'm like, well, "You shouldn't be the ones apologizing. I'm sorry you have to touch my sick, disgusting body." But that really is frustrating, and it's one of those things where you're not sure how you would fix that.
I see. You see all the videos of the kids in anesthesia, coming out of anesthesia, and they've had their wisdom teeth taken out. And they're just like off their rocker. No, they're like, they're like, this is unbelievable. Is this real? And then one of the kids was proposing to one of the nurses. She is so sexy. And you think it's funny, which it is. Because I don't know, maybe not. I don't know. They're hilarious to watch. But he didn't do anything. He was just proposing to her.
No, but it's true that anesthesia can make you do ridiculous things. It's true. But... yeah, that's one of the ones that I'm not sure that how you fix that, because it's got to be infuriating. But sometimes they know that it's like even the person didn't mean to do it.
All right, Utah Jazz, their 10-winning streak is over, unfortunately.
And they've been doing so good. They'll do good again.
But they're awesome, I hear.
Donovan Mitchell is adorable.
He is adorable.
Okay, he's a rookie. He's been doing great, but he's like apparently the best wingman in the world.
Why?
Now here's why. Josh Bueller tried to contact him on Twitter and said, hey, you're an amazing basketball player. I love you. He said, but I've been trying to ask out this girl in my chemistry class, and I was just thinking maybe if you threw me a couple tickets, I would have a good excuse to ask her out. And Donovan, who is so adorable, saying, got you, brother, got 2 tickets tomorrow, go ahead and ask her. Funny. How adorable is this? So the guy actually, he posted Donovan's reply back and sent it to the girl in his chemistry class and went, Donovan's got her. And sure enough, she said yes. And there you go. Best wingman in the NBA.
Now, if they only could get on the kiss cam.
That would be adorable.
All right, information time.
All right, Daisy's in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom. She is brought to you, of course, by Always Black Friday.
Nice.
Always Black Friday. 30 to 75% off every day, 12th Street in Ogden. Also by the Denali Performance Medical Center. Look, if you've got sports injuries or maybe chronic migraines, these are the guys that can fix it for you, and you don't have to deal with opioids anymore. And All Utah Plumbing, which is All Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Good time to get everything checked out to make sure you're saving everything you can in energy bills. Daisy, my dear, what's going on today?
Good morning, Todd and Erin. Hello, everyone. Here's what's making news on Monday, February 26th on GephartDaily.com. A West Valley City father has been charged with the aggravated assault of a police officer. Police say 26-year-old Tevin Lorenzo Evans was taken into custody Saturday night after he got in a fight with an officer that was investigating the sudden death of Evans' 2-month-old son. Police say the child had been taken to a local hospital Saturday, suffering from a respiratory issue. When the child passed away, the hospital notified West Valley PD, who dispatched an officer to the home. Investigators say things turned violent shortly after the officer arrived and that he received a concussion after being attacked by Evans. Police across the valley responded to the officer's call for help and took Evans into custody. The cause of the child's death has yet to be determined. A home in Sandy is a total loss after an early morning fire Sunday. Sandy Fire Department Deputy Fire Chief Derek Maxfield told Gephardt Daily the fire broke out just after 3 a.m. at 8910 South 400 East. By the time fire crews arrived, the home was engulfed in flames. Luckily, the lone resident had already managed to escape. The cause of the fire has yet to be determined. And an 18-year-old Magna man is facing a slew of charges after allegedly holding a 99-year-old West Valley woman hostage in her home early Saturday morning. Freddie Alexander Velasquez has been charged with aggravated burglary, aggravated robbery, aggravated kidnapping, and the illegal use of a firearm by a restricted person, among other charges. Investigators say Velasquez forced his way into the elderly woman's home while being pursued by police for a shooting earlier in Magna. He ultimately freed the woman and was taken into custody after about 10 hours. And time now for your Wasatch Front forecast, brought to you by Brio Technologies, the granddaddy of audiovisual specialists in the state of Utah. After getting a break Sunday, it looks like we'll have another couple of storms headed our way. If you live along the northern Wasatch Front, you can expect a return to snow Monday into Tuesday, with a couple of inches accumulating on the valley floors, considerably more in the mountains. By Thursday, another storm moves in, and this one will have more of a punch and could last into the weekend. We'll have highs this week ranging from the low 40s to the upper 30s, and overnight lows will hover in the upper 20s. That's it for now. For more news and weather 24/7, go to GephartDaily.com. For now, Todd and Erin, back to you.
You are so immature.
I was messing with her.
You're so immature. Did you really try to mess with Daisy?
So you'll make her laugh. It's something I do.
All right, All
Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. If you go to allutahplumbing.com. The nice thing about them, if you're doing a remodel on your bathroom and you need something special, they just finished one up. They did it for a kid who had some special needs. Opened up the shower, put on big glass so he didn't feel claustrophobic. Did the steps so he could get in easier. If you want to get more information, just go to allutahplumbing.com.
All right, tell me something good. Are you ready? This one's awesome.
I am.
I'm really looking forward to this. Okay, Tell Me Something Good is brought to you by Always Black Friday, where it is 30 to 75% off every day. You can also go online and see what stock they have in, too. All right, Tess Aboushashay was leaving a chiropractic.
Pronunciation.
Aboushashay. I actually went on YouTube and learned how to pronounce it because Tess deserves it because she's an awesome chick.
All right.
she was leaving a doctor's appointment, and
Okay.
it was just like out of a movie where someone said, "My purse! You stole my purse!" And the woman had been shouting, and this guy comes racing down the street with
What?
the purse.
What?
Well, so she took off after him because Aboushashe is an athlete, and she rounded the corner and found him, and he was hiding in an alleyway. He had stopped running, and
Out of breath.
he was starting to cry instead.
Yeah.
And he came out from behind the dumpster and said, "Here's the wallet. I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry. Here, just take it." So she took the wallet, and the woman caught up, so she gave it back
Got
to
her
the woman.
stuff back.
And he stood there apologizing and going, "I'm sorry." He goes, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And apparently she was talking to him for a minute, and she said, "Why don't you come down to the cafe? I'll just buy you a coffee."
What?
Now, so this is a guy she just caught stealing someone's purse, but she said, "Come on down." So he sat down and he explained that he had traveled to Calgary looking for work with some friends, but they had taken off without him and he had nothing. I mean, no money, nothing
Right,
at all. So
right.
she said, "Okay, I'm going to show you how to go to the public library here. Now we're going to go online. This is how you contact social workers. This is
What?
where you go through these things. This is how you get help." And then she drove him to the homeless shelter so that he could get started.
So you get a place.
But the fact that and he stood there as she was leaving, he said, "Why did you do this? Why?" She said, "Because you were sorry.
Oh.
Because you were sorry."
And you suck at crime.
And you suck at crime.
You need
So
a
it's,
new thing, because
But I
that's not going to work.
But I love Aboushashe just taking off after him, like, "I will bring you down." And then she sort of brought him back up again instead.
Crazy. All right,
Good
so
story.
Christopher's, we do a giveaway every Friday. We keep getting pictures from you, the winners, every
We're
Friday.
very happy for you.
And you send us pictures of your steak and your prime rib and stuff.
Yeah,
And it's like,
looks
stop
great.
it. But if you want to enter for this, we send you and 3 of your friends out for a nice dinner at Christopher's, which is actually really cool. It's elegant, I mean, because they have linen and all this stuff and nice glassware. I know that sounds weird.
No, but it's worth putting
But
on a
it's not
skirt for.
It's not stuffy. It's not uppity. It's nice.
Yeah.
Christopher's Prime Steakhouse and Grill. If you want to enter,
All you have to do is just go to one of our Facebook pages, which is probably where you're watching us. You can do that on Get Part Daily or Get Part Approved, or if you're on the Todd and Erin page and you're part of the conversation this morning, just drop a comment. "Hey, I'd like to go to Christopher's." You're entered.
All right.
That's literally all you have to do, and then on Friday we'll draw another winner.
all right, another scam with the IRS plus
Again.
the entire town saves a man's life. We'll tell you coming up next.
The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by UtahCreditApproval.com. Bad things happen to good people, but you can get your credit back on track and get a reliable automobile by giving them a call. 801-404-7201. And also by Columbus Travel with spectacular deals on cruises and all-inclusive vacations. Go to ColumbusVacations.com. And all Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air, where they have a winter special that they can check out your furnace and make sure that it's operating efficiently, saving you hundreds of dollars in energy bills. Just go to allutahplumbing.com. Did you know that you can catch the Todd and Erin Morning Stream on Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, and GetPartDaily.com any time of the day or night?
At Always Black Friday, we love a good deal. We buy new and used products at a discount so we can pass on the savings to you. And we're Get Part approved. From electronics to clothing to appliances. If you want it, we have it at discount prices. Visit our eBay store or come to our warehouse at 865 West 12th Street in Ogden. Always Black Friday, where you can find Black Friday deals all year round.
Happy Black Friday!
All right, welcome back to the Todd and Erin Morning Stream at GetPartDaily.com. IRS, we're talked about taxes over the weekend, and then we're so tired of wailing and sobbing with an ugly cry that we stopped. But now,
Well, no, the IRS has come out with 2 new tax scams, and it really ticks me off because...
wait, the IRS came out with tax scams?
Well, no, they're warning people about this stuff going around. And
because it's a scam anyway,
Well,
both sides, but anyway.
The first one really irritates me because they said they're primarily targeting the elderly, people from whom maybe English is
they
a second
do.
language,
course
for
they
young
do.
couples who may not have as much sophistication. But they're good enough now, these scammers, the offshore people, that they can actually clone phone numbers that look official, that are actually local numbers, like 801 or 435, and then it
So
looks
like 801 IRS sucks,
or
something like that. Okay,
something like that. And so what they do is they call and say, "Hey, I'm an agent, blah blah blah. We have a petition against you for an unpaid tax matter. You need to send me. You need to send a check immediately to this address,
right,
to avoid me coming to arrest you." And so people are freaking out, going, "Oh my!" Because there's nothing scarier. I'm sorry, it's just those 3 letters. Scared the crap out of me.
Right.
And they're like, "Oh, okay." And some of them are like so flagrant that they're like, have you put down money over the phone on a gift card or something, and then give them the codes for the gift cards. I mean, that's how bad it gets. And then of course you hang up and you've been taken for a bunch of money. Charlie Roberts is a spokesperson for the IRS here in Ogden. He says, "Look, the best thing you can do is just hang up right there." He says, "We will never call you on the phone ever and ask you for money. Ever." He said, "If you get something like that, it won't happen." He says, we've got a tax matter with you, we will send you something via certified mail that you will sign for that will come from our actual office."
And then you're screwed.
No, but I mean, that's really, really frustrating. But he said it's hard for us too, because then we get these calls, and he said especially from the elderly, it's painful because they've lost so much money. And he said, but the one that amazes me, he goes, that people still fall for though, is the card trick, where they literally keep you on the phone. They make you go to your computer. "All right, go buy the card right now while I'm on the phone with you, and I will be able to release this tax matter." And then you have to read them the code back. I mean, yeah. So once again, anyone who's calling you on the phone is not from the IRS.
No,
that stinks.
They just come and knock your door down. Sorry.
No, they don't.
They're wonderful people.
They've never done that.
I enjoy paying taxes. All right, let's move on.
So weird.
This is so weird, like an entire town. Tell me more about
this.
This was
story. Amazing.
Heart attack, huh?
They have called this the longest, most successful out-of-hospital resuscitation.
What's that mean?
20 different people all saved a man's life by performing CPR on him for almost 2 hours.
Now, if you don't know, CPR, number one, if you put the adrenaline into this, and then you put the panic into this as you are giving CPR, the right pace of doing this is on this, basically a little above the stern, going like this. Staying alive.
The Bee Gees.
Dun, 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 dun. Well, after a while, that's going to get tiring, and so they trade it off like a tag team wrestling match.
But, of course, trained professionals are used to that. However, this is in the tiny town of Goodhue, Minnesota. Now, it only has a population of about 1,000 people, doesn't even have a traffic light.
So everybody knows everybody.
So the emergency response team is basically like 20 volunteers, and you try to get one of them on the phone, go, "Hey, could you go over to Steve's house?"
You throw the victim in the back of a pickup truck and drive him to a hospital.
Well, Howard Snitzer was in the grocery store there, the only grocery store, of course, in Goodhue, Minnesota, and he suffered a heart attack and collapsed. So there was only the clerk and one other person in there, so they both raced over. The clerk started doing CPR.
Right.
The other guy went racing out into the middle of the street and goes, "Everybody! Howard's had a heart attack!" I mean, just shouting in the middle of the street.
Howard. That's so funny.
Which
one? Junior. Oh, let's go.
So people started flooding out. They heard the commotion, and they came over to lend a hand. And they said, "We were really worried, and we just lined up. And when one guy got tired, the next person jumped in, and that's how it went."
How long does this go on?
Because it took 112 minutes for a rescue helicopter from the Mayo Clinic to fly over and successfully resuscitate Snitzer. And
that's never happened before.
And over the course of that time, people literally just stayed in line and kept going, and they were trying to refresh each other on how to do it, and they were watching and making sure.
And they were doing the breaths and stuff. And that long, you have to.
It's incredible. And he was like, when one person's arm started shaking, I'm sorry, I have to do the Minnesota accent. It's my favorite. Then the next person would step in line, and he would take a rest. But seriously, for almost 2 hours, they all just did this tag team of keeping this man alive. And they say now, but no, the people from the Mayo Clinic were like, "You're kidding,
right?
You kept him this long?" And they went, "Yeah." They said, "We've never heard of this out of a clinic before, ever, being able to maintain someone that long."
That's a long time.
But I love the vision of this tiny town without even a traffic light, and that there's like the little grocery store and maybe a couple offices across the street.
Yeah. I went to college in one of these towns.
Yeah, and the entire town's lined up, trying to save this guy.
That's amazing too. It'd be amazing too when one person took over for the other person. They high five. Go get him. It's Howard Jr. He owes me $10. Bring him back to life.
That's pretty darn cool.
That is a great story.
Just working together like that amazes me.
Where am I here? I'm sorry. I've lost my place.
Girls Who Code. This is cool.
Now, what do you mean coding? Like
Now,
computer coding?
this is one of the things I'm jealous about because Zoe is so good on the computer and she can come up with so many different, she can figure stuff out faster than I can a lot of times. And she's actually, I guess they start teaching HTML code in first grade because she actually showed me something and isolated and said, that's why that number, that sentence keeps repeating.
Here's what, Erin.
And this is what I get from my 6-year-old child.
And this is how she goes, Mom, Dad, or whatever. She goes, I can't, I don't, and she stands up. She's got the iPad in her hand. She gets about halfway there and she goes, never mind.
I got it. Well, this fall, coming up this fall, 50 Girls Who Code clubs are going to be starting up in Utah schools and community centers and like libraries. And this is really amazing. Basically, the plan for Girls Who Code came from Reshma Sujani. She was here in Salt Lake City to announce it. Mm-hmm. And she had started the Girls Who Code clubs when she was frustrated that as a computer programmer, it was like this male-dominated profession. Yeah. And so many women, she said, would be great at this. She goes, it's detail-oriented, it's focused, it's all the things that as a woman you're good at. And so she started these clubs trying to get middle-aged and high school-age girls interested in coding. So it's pretty cool. So she's gotten a lot of different major, like IBM and a lot of major corporations do the funding for it. Fun. And so it actually gets them started on computers and then teaches them all this stuff. So by the time you're out of high school, you're an expert coder.
You probably already gone through two years of college by the time you get out of high school.
I mean, that's pretty cool. So anyway, so keep an eye out for that later on this summer. You can also go to STEM Action, which is one of the Utah State programs, and you can get more information about where it's going to set up near you. But that's very exciting.
All right, Governor Herbert is waiting to sign off on the SB 25. This is basically, and everybody else has approved it already, the House and the Senate. So once he signs it, it goes, it works. And basically what it is in the state of Utah, if you want to get divorced, you have to wait 90 days.
Now, the reality...
It's almost like a punishment, isn't it?
The reality is they say that on average, especially if you're dealing with custody issues and blah, 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 it can take up to 2 years to be divorced. But what they're saying is if it's non-contested and if this is, you know what you want, then dragging it out is... And just personally, my parents were married 24 years when they decided to get divorced. And they had spent a great deal of time, and there was therapy, and there was all these things. I mean, they went through all the right steps, and so when they went before the judge going, we've made this decision, he goes, oh, you kids, you've been married too long. You just go home and you think about it some more. Yeah. And they're like, what? And
we've already decided.
He said, you come back in 6 months and we'll talk. And so
I'd be surprised to see how many people
they found an attorney who said,
their minds.
No, let's get this.
They went to other states and did some research, and they saw no difference whatsoever between the states that did 30 days and the other states that did 90.
So because there were a couple of lawmakers who were going, isn't this going to make divorce too easy? And they're like, well, no, if you already know, you already know.
Plus, if it's 30 days, and let's face it, if you get divorced, right, and then you remarry the same person, you're just a topic of conversation with your friends. And you're still happy because you married the person that you love, and you realize that after being divorced, and plus, you want your boat back. Or your RV. Junk like that. Or maybe it's true love.
I'm glad this isn't autobiographical. It seems like you put some thought into it.
You decide. So anyway.
Jeez Louise.
So all the governor has to do is sign off on that. One lady did say, this seems punitive. What are you doing this to me for? I have to wait another 90 days.
And drag out this misery when...
And you always hear your friends go, oh, finally it went through. Well, that was 2 years ago. I know. Finally it went through. All right, coming up.
Yeah.
Hollywood, Black Panther cannot be stopped.
It's crushing it at the box office still. And there's a 68-year-old woman who just posed for Playboy.
What?
You know who she is. We'll tell you about it next.
So, Jeff, you do mortgages, right?
I do.
How do you do?
Well, you go to our website, 4minutemortgage.com, fill out the application. We'll call you within 1 business day. The whole thing takes about a month, start to finish.
We went to the bank.
They got really personal.
I went through all of our personal records and all of our finances.
And then there was that little deal about the $8,000 closing costs.
It took like 4 months.
That's funny. That's funny.
The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by Fink and McGregor, Mortgages Made Simple. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, you'll find out that you can get a mortgage with a credit score as low as 600. Fink and McGregor, also by the Vein Clinic. If you go to theveinclinic.com, you can schedule an appointment and find out some amazing options for pain-free removal of varicose veins and spider veins. Your legs can look great again with the Vein Clinic. And also by Black Diamond Experts. They're experts in electric, plumbing, heating, and air. And they also have a brand new store up in Ogden now. If you'd like to reach them, you can go to blackdiamondexperts.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Todd and Erin Morning Stream on Get Park Daily. Oh my God.com. I'm going this way. The joys of sledding with your children.
I think they were both embarrassed with
They're
us.
both sitting at the top, yeah, just like,
Because they're like, let's do this, it'll be funny. They're like, don't include me in that, please.
Mom, you're embarrassing me again.
Oh, this is so cool. All right, Hollywood Connection is brought to you by Connect Heating and Air. You can just go to UtahHeatingandCooling.com for more information. They're awesome. 24-hour emergency service. Black Panther. This is so cool. Now, Denai, who is one of my favorite people on Walking Dead, she plays Michonne. She was attending the premiere, and she was talking about the fact that they were so excited that finally that people of color had a superhero, and that they had great hopes that this would be a huge moneymaker, so that studios could see that this was a viable
Bunch of superheroes.
opportunity. Holy crapola, was this amazing. Now, you know, of course, that it earned over $400 million worldwide on its opening weekend.
But the test is always the second weekend.
$108 million their second weekend out.
Third film, which was Star Wars, Return to whatever, and I can't remember.
The Avengers.
The Avengers, right.
Yeah. So this was number three, but it's unfreaking believable. So Game Night was number 2, Peter Rabbit number 3, Annihilation was number 4, and then 50 Shades Freed is still going strong at number 5. But
people sitting in the crowd,
I can't
in the auditorium, in the movie theater, wearing sunglasses.
So they're saying they say that within the first month, they're expecting Black Panther to make over $1 billion at the box office.
So sorry about the coughing.
$1 billion with a B. That's so exciting. I'm so happy.
I wonder if there are studios that passed up on the project. I wonder if there's people who are like on the edge of a building, tall building, like, I let it go.
Well, you know, the script languished with Marvel for years while they were still trying to push it, and they'd finally developed the Black Panther character in the last couple of Marvel films with the Avengers, and they're like, okay, we think we're ready for it now.
Right.
And so they got it started. But even then, there was a lot of pushback from a couple of the executives at Disney who owns Marvel now, who were like, I don't know, are we ready for this? And
It happened with Star Wars. No one wanted
George
the script.
Lucas, yeah.
George Lucas, he went place to place, and they said no. And the only reason they made it was because they wanted him to do another project. He says, I'll do that project, but I want to make this thing. And imagine if they passed up on that.
oh, you know, this
Trilogy.
is Hollywood. Everyone went, I knew it'd be a success. I
Right.
totally knew.
Right.
Now, tell them about this. We've actually interviewed this woman, and this was 15 years ago, so she would have been in her mid-50s then.
She's 67
She
now.
was unnaturally beautiful even
Jane
then.
Seymour.
Remember her?
Now, I'm happy about part of this, and then I'm unhappy about another part.
Explain.
First of all, she decided, and she was contacted by Playboy, and she decided that I have read that some of the photos in with celebrities and stuff in Playboy aren't nudes. They are with clothing on and stuff like that. So I've read.
Alluring.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, she actually posed for Playboy the first time when she was in her very first Bond movie.
Right.
So she was quite young then. So she's done this
hey,
before.
look, Granny's in Playboy. No, could have done it someplace else. That's just me. With a pink jacket on, laying in her bed, lounging beautifully. It's funny because she said she hasn't done any surgery. She hasn't done any injections and all that stuff. Though she's been tempted.
She's so beautiful. Like I said, even seeing her, interviewing her in person 10 years ago.
Once again,
mid-50s and gorgeous.
Someone who has signed a deal with the devil. And you know what? I'm getting
never age.
I'm getting a little tired of it because they show like 80-year-old men running triathlons and biathlons, and they're doing all this stuff just to make us all look bad. And then with Jane Seymour, 67, putting more pressure on women because she's like, oh, I just look like this.
I don't have any pressure to be in Playboy.
No, the Playboy thing is not an issue here.
It's the fact that she's unnaturally beautiful even now at 67.
I want to get in modern mechanics, but that's just my dream. my dream.
Is there something wrong that I've never wanted to pose nude? I mean, I've actually had friends who have talked about, like, I just want to do one thing before I get hot. And there's actually mothers like
Before
the
you get
Kardashians.
hot?
Before I'm no longer hot, excuse me.
Oh.
I mean, even the Kardashian mother was telling the girls, well, you should do one photo shoot for Playboy, so you've got it.
I've
And I'm
never
like,
heard anybody
and
say
I've never
that.
had I've never heard of a mom suggesting that before, but I do hear women say that a lot, and I'm
Really?
like, I don't really want to. No, no, I've never had any. I don't care what you airbrush. No, I don't want to. Is it wrong that I've never? Am I the only person who's never wanted to do that? Because I do hear of women all the time going, "That's like a goal. That's something I want," and I'm not clear why. I guess.
Well, I've never told you this.
Oh dear. Is this
But
going to be some kind of a confession?
When I need to make extra cash, what I do is I threaten to have the pictures done, and then I start a GoFundMe page not to. And it's always worked out very well. And I appreciate it. So thank you very much. Next Thursday is the shoot. Go to GoFundMe. Todd, put your clothes back on. All right.
All right, Daisy's in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom. She is brought to you by, first of all, Fink and McGregor. Their mortgage is made simple. Just go to fink-mcgregor.com. They've got all the latest information on all the mortgage interest weirdness that's going on, and they can call you back within the next business day. Also by the Vein Clinic. Go to theveinclinic.com, and you can sign up for a consultation. They do amazing stuff now with varicose veins. Literally, I had them treated. They were pain-free, and I could see the results within 3 days. They're amazing. Also by Brio Technologies. They're your experts in lighting, sound, and video. Bring your company into this century. They can do it for you. Just go to brioaudiovisual.com. Daisy, my dear, what's going on today?
Thanks, Todd and Erin. Here's what's making national and world news headlines on Monday, February 26th on Gephardt Daily. The bloodshed continues in eastern Syria despite a UN-brokered ceasefire signed over the weekend. At least 7 people have been killed in the renewed fighting, which included the bombing of a maternity hospital by the Syrian military. The airstrikes have been concentrated on a suburb of Damascus, a long-time stronghold of anti-Assad forces. The Assad government calls the rebel groups who have holed up their terrorists and says the ceasefire does not extend to them. More than 100 girls are missing after suspected Boko Haram militants attacked a school in Nigeria on Monday. According to the Nigerian government, 906 female students were at the school on the day of the raid, and that 110 girls remain unaccounted for. The government has deployed the army in an attempt to rescue the girls. In 2014, Boko Haram kidnapped 217 Nigerian schoolgirls. Fewer than 100 have returned to their families. And Las Vegas's McCarran International Airport has installed marijuana amnesty boxes for passengers who have forgotten to ditch their legally purchased weed. Nevada legalized recreational marijuana last summer, but Clark County banned possession of cannabis at the airport in order to comply with federal laws. The airport said the first 20 marijuana amnesty boxes have been installed in locations around the terminals, including parking and car rental areas. The boxes are frequently emptied by a company on contract with the county. No word on what they do with the weed once they recover it. And now time for another look at your Wasatch Front weather, brought to you by Brio Technologies, Utah's top audio-visual specialists. After getting a little bit of a break Sunday, it looks like we have another couple of storms headed our way. Folks along the northern Wasatch Front can expect a return to snow Monday into Tuesday, with a couple of inches accumulating on the valley floors. By Thursday, another storm moves in, and this one will have more of a punch and could last into the weekend. We'll have highs this week ranging from the low 40s to the upper 30s. Overnight lows will be in the 20s. That's it for now. For more news across the nation and around the world, go to GepardtDaily.com. Todd and Erin, back to you.
Hey everybody, welcome back. It is the Todd and Erin morning series here at GepardtDaily.com. Oh, please don't let me go.
Form, I appreciate.
That would be me. The child was just happy I didn't hit him, so that was good too.
I have to say something about the amnesty boxes Daisy was just telling you in Vegas and Arizona with the amnesty boxes. So if you bring cannabis, marijuana, to the airport and you forgot that you had it on you, they actually don't want you to go in and get busted.
Colorado, I would think would be a classic
Because you
example
could go
of
in
this, yeah.
smelling like it, but then they're going to pull you aside or whatever. I don't know if they are. And then if they find it on you, boom, you can't have it in an airport. You can't.
Yeah.
That's the law. And a lot of people say, oh, I didn't know that, but you know that. So the amnesty boxes are outside that you saw are really interesting. And I read an article about before those went in, a lot of people, like here in Utah, people go with guns accidentally because they always carry it in their briefcase or whatever, and they
Concealed
actually
weapon.
forget.
Well,
But-
Harry Connick Jr. got arrested for that. He had forgotten he had it in his flight bag.
Right. So the story goes is that people were going out and putting it and burying it in the planters, and then calling their friends and trying to describe where it was.
I want to. It's the planter right outside of D6,
It's
man.
right next to the begonias, the really happy begonias.
That's very funny.
That
no, but
is
it's
funny.
true. But that's back to the weirdness of cannabis, that it's legal in some states, but once you get into an airport or on state lines, you're now on federal jurisdiction.
That's right.
Where it is still illegal. So it's very confusing.
Have you been on a vacation? A lot of people. We've seen a lot of
Soon.
people on Facebook, and they're showing them at a beach,
Soon, you and me.
and
soon.
it looks so fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
5 signs that you need a vacation. This is Mr. Obvious talking to you right now. 5 signs to go on a vacation.
Go ahead, Captain Obvious. Tell us
Let's
the
look.
signs.
You're feeling blue. No, not the pot shot. What is wrong with you?
There we
There
go.
we go.
See,
You're
she's blue.
You're feeling blue and you
She's
show
super
marijuana. Come on. She's feeling blue.
You can see it.
That's step number 1. And they're saying that even planning a vacation will make you feel less blue. Number 2, you're bored with the routine. Wah, wah, wah. Who doesn't have that? Year round. Sometimes you're just in a rut, right? Number 3,
You just can't sleep.
I don't understand that one.
Insomnia.
You're up all night.
You're up all night.
You know why?
Everyone else asleep.
You need vacation.
That's true.
You need your toes in the sand.
Yeah, that's right.
You need.
This is really just so sad.
It's so pathetic.
This is like possibly the saddest break we've done ever because it's so obvious.
You can't remember the last time you took a true break. You just can't remember. We're going to add our own 3 at the end of this, so start thinking.
Okay.
You can't stop thinking about and daydreaming about different places.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's sweet.
All right.
That's really stupid.
Let's come up with our own. Let's see. You were changing your baby's diaper and it peed in your face. Need a vacation. Go ahead. Your turn.
You drive by the airport and you start weeping uncontrollably.
That's
you
good.
need a vacation.
You have to use the big cart at the liquor store.
You need a vacation.
You need a vacation.
All right, coming
All
up in
right.
a couple of minutes, just in fact, if you are possibly going on a vacation, we're going to tell you the 2 words that can get you into first class. Tell you next. 2 words. The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by Fink and McGregor. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, there's a short 4-minute quiz, and at the end of it, you can find a whole array of mortgage options, and someone will call you back from Fink and McGregor within the next business day. Also by Utah Credit Approval. Go to utahcreditapproval.com because they know that bad things happen to good people, but that shouldn't stop you from repairing your credit and getting a reliable automobile at utahcreditapproval.com. And also all Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. John has 24/7 service because he knows that emergencies can happen any time of the day or night. And right now they have a $69 special to check out all your heating systems to make sure they're working well. Just go to allutahplumbing.com.
All right, back with the Todd and Erin Morning Stream. People, this is kind of a thing. Is like if you think you're a bad person, you're not compared to these people.
No. These are people who are going to hell. We're
And
just
there's
going to say the phrase right out.
No
There's
question.
not even
a question about it.
not a hesitation.
Where did this happen?
James Folk Richards. He was in Pleasant Grove court there.
Yeah.
And that's him burning in hell. He entered a no contest plea Thursday
I was wondering.
to communications fraud, second degree felonies, and Class A misdemeanors. What had happened was He had been involved with Addie Fawcett now.
What's that?
Addie passed away 2 years ago, and she'd stopped growing at the age of 3.
Oh, right.
She
Okay.
had cerebral atrophy.
I remember, yeah.
Amazing family, totally close knit, and they went on and said, "There's treatments, there's things that we can do, there's things we can handle. Could you help us?" And so they did a fund, and people were donating $10. People from all across the world were sending little bits of money, but they said, "This is all I have, but I really want to support you, and I want your daughter to be okay."
Right.
And so it was magnificent, and everyone really did everything they could to be part of it and give this child a chance. And unfortunately, it was too late for Addie. Although they say that there's still hope for some other kids.
Okay.
So there was money left over, and James stood up and he said, "Well, I've been paying her bills, her medical bills, so I need reimbursement from..."
As opposed to giving it to the family to pay off their medical bills.
Donations, I've been paying her medical bills. And so he, and apparently they contacted the family and said, "Oh, he did pay something." And so they said, "Oh, okay, he got it." So
don't tell me.
He submitted for reimbursement over $30,000. He collected 3 checks for over $30,000. He had paid a $158 lab bill. And so he basically stole $30,000 from the funding account of a terminally ill child.
So what happened to him?
He pleaded no contest, so he escaped jail.
He's what?
He escaped jail. He's paid $17,000 of it back to the charity. But Addie's mom said the worst part about this to me is that so many people strangers had donated $10, everything they had. Kids emptied their piggy banks, and this man stole it. $30,000.
How do you not go to jail for stealing this kind of money? How is that even possible? And the person said he was guilty, no contest.
Well, part of the problem is that especially with fraud, judges are more if you're in jail, you can't pay it back.
I don't care. I don't want the money back.
Well, it's
I
like
want you in prison.
It's like one of our closest friends who the longtime accountant that they'd known for their entire life stole everything.
Walked off with a more than sizable amount of money.
Everything they had. So
and they've known him for 25 years.
And so basically, that what they do is they try to keep them out of jail and make them pay it back to restitution.
No, this guy's not going to be able to.
I'd rather have him in jail.
I would rather have him in jail.
So...
All right.
So the family had never seen any of the money, by the way. So
of course not.
He has paid back part of it. I hope that he can be a decent enough person to actually get the rest back to the family.
April 5th, get ready to celebrate Expungement Day.
Explain.
Woo!
Explain. What do you mean expungement?
Day. Expungement is when you have something on your record, a police record, and you go to a judge, and it's a very pricey kind of process, and it kind of
you have to get a lawyer. You have to do all these things.
Kind of amazed to get there, and you say, "Listen, this guy hasn't done anything since whatever." And this 20 years ago when he broke into a house and he was going with some bad people
or shoplifting or things like
not autographic. So you basically you can stop looking at me like that.
Not autobiographical, you said, right?
No, I'm moving on. So basically, you can go in front of the judge, and the judge will look at it and go, "Gosh, you haven't done anything for 25 years, and you know what? And it wasn't violent, and we're going to expunge it." And they basically take it off your record, which is nice.
Gives you a clean slate. Because
it can get in your way for jobs and stuff.
Yeah, even if it's 20 years ago, what comes up on a criminal check is that it may or may not even say the date, but it'll say this happened. And so most employers will go, "No, not a chance."
So here's the deal. When they started the big deal down at the Rio Grande, and they started sorting out the criminals, and they started arresting people who had outstanding warrants and such, and drug offenses and things like that.
And of course, the goal there was to get the predators, the people who were preying on the more helpless, not necessarily to nail down every single person who had made a mistake, but they were really going for the serious ones.
And there's some other issues where people with small offenses or something like that, they got arrested as well.
Outstanding warrant, maybe. Or...
Yeah, but the deal is that what they're saying is, and here are the requirements, by the way. The requirements are you got arrested within the last year, you paid your penalty, you did the time if it was required, you've cleaned up, and now you're trying to stay on the straight and narrow. Criminal records could be expunged if you show them that you're applying or have a job and you're on your way out of the darkness that you've been in.
I think that's gorgeous.
It is. So at Operation Rio Grande, they did grab some people who
Once
It's
again,
some other
outstanding warrants.
smaller
Yeah.
things, and this is a chance for them, and they're working on it, and they're getting back on their feet, and what a great way to kind of clean that up and give them kind of a little bit of a new start.
So attorneys are donating their help. They're doing
Right.
the cases pro bono to try to get these
Right.
people a second chance. And that's amazing, because that is the thing. Once you make a mistake, for a lot of these people who can't afford to do that or get their record expunged, or it impacts your ability to make a living for your family. And so now they get that chance to not be branded by that for the rest of their lives.
Exactly.
I think it's gorgeous.
We were just talking about signs that told you need to go on a vacation. Another one, you breathe. Another one, you have feet or a foot or maybe no feet, but you need to go on a vacation. Everyone needs to go on a vacation.
True. Yeah,
All
that'd
right.
be nice. We haven't been on one in a really long time.
No, like forever.
Yeah.
And here is the lady who flies 100,000 miles a year. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
So what is it, 3,000 miles cross country or something like that? I forget now.
So that she'd be going cross country.
100,000 miles.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So she really knows the ins and outs. And she says there's two words that will get you upgraded to first class, and it has worked for her.
Because I've heard all the other ones, like get dressed up nicely, and they're like, no, that doesn't do anything, or maybe bring something nice on board for the flight attendants. No, that doesn't work either. I mean, flight attendants, all that crap you've heard, no. But this,
100% of the time it works for her.
no freaking way.
And so Erin and I have been upgraded twice.
3 times.
3 times. And the first time, I think it was just because we were so happy about going on vacation because we have feet.
I think we just got married, and the flight attendant listened to us, and she goes, "You two are so cute."
We're all like, lovey-dovey, and they were like, "Get out of here!" And the coach passengers go, "Yeah, get them out of here. They're disgusting. Go, get out of here." And another one, it was just out of the blue. It's like, "Excuse me," and they know your names, Mr. and Mrs. Collins. Would you like to follow me to first class? And it was like, "No, I'll just sit here and let my backbone atrophy."
What is wrong with you?
So okay, you really wanted to know the 2 words. don't you?
Please
All
tell.
right. The 2 words are revenue management.
Now explain this.
All right. So when you're calling and making a reservation, let's say you have to call. You can't do it online. You actually have to call the old school way.
Interesting.
And you say that you want it. Revenue management is a little known department with all the airlines, and they kind of manage the revenue. Like if your plane's leaving and it doesn't have enough people on it, they will start making more room. In a lot of cases, they're not expecting people in first class to buy at the last minute. They're expecting people in coach. So
Yeah, that would make sense.
So you get someone out of coach and somebody else will buy the ticket, you see?
Really?
It's like the Flyers Club.
Because you've already paid, so yeah,
Right,
so
right.
they could get more money versus leaving an empty. Okay, go on.
And she gets on the phone and she says, have revenue management release any first class seats for mile upgrades. Have they done that yet? That's all she says. Revenue management. And then they come back. Listen to this. Listen to this.
When they say no, ask them to check or just to be put through for revenue management, so you can ask when they'll release some, as well as how many seats are left. She said, politely respond like, "Oh, you have 20 seats unsold. Why aren't you releasing them?"
Right.
Often by the end of the conversation, they'll say, "Okay, we'll release one for you," or they'll tell you to call back tomorrow. She said, doing that, I've pretty much had a 100% success rate.
What?
So they actually, the reporter actually contacted like Virgin Airlines to say, does this really work? And they said every year we release thousands of reward seats for our flying club members, and they can check the availability online and through the contact center. So they said basically you have to be like a frequent flyer. You have to be in their frequent flyer clubs, I'm guessing.
Oh,
but yeah.
Revenue management.
Revenue management.
You know what time it is right now? You know what it's time for? Erin's eyelash check, shall we? I'm going to get the camera.
Really?
Hang on.
Again?
Yeah, again. It keeps growing, Erin.
Why are you so obsessed with my eyelash? What is wrong with you?
When I look at it, this is all I see. All right, close your eye. All right, have to come up there. Let's see.
You're such a dork.
That one. You see that one right there? Hang on. Steady, Todd. See that long one? It's ridiculous. You have to look this way. You can't see it. All right.
My husband's an idiot. This is really like the worst thing in your life. This is like the hardest thing you've had to deal with.
Would you not agree?
Is my gimpy eyelash.
Would you not agree that I'm looking into my wife's eyes, or I look at her like from here, and that's all I can see? We had this moment the other day where it's like, oh, we embraced and stuff, and we look back and we're looking into each other's eyes. No, all I saw was that eyelash sticking out like that. How long do you think it'll get? This could be a new record, like Guinness Book of World Records. Longest eyelash, not lashes, just lash.
And it always amazes me that we've been together for 21 years.
And you never had a lash like that?
It seems even more amazing to me as I think back now.
That you fell in love with me?
Yeah.
You know why I was so attracted to you? Because of that eyelash. I could not stop looking at it. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. We want to say thank you for watching today. It's been fun Monday. I know you need to go on a vacation because you breathe.
Oh, and by the way, we were talking about anniversaries earlier.
Yes.
Do you know what Wednesday is? The anniversary.
Oh God! Whoa, no! Something else you didn't tell me about.
Our 1-year anniversary for the Todd and Erin morning stream.
Oh, doing this?
Over 3 million views.
What are you doing watching us? We appreciate it very much.
So we're gonna have a little celebration on Wednesday.
We have no idea what it is
and we have
yet.
some treats for you too.
And tell your friends. We don't know either. So on Sunday, on yesterday, we did a family outing, and we went sledding, and we're going to say goodbye right now, and here's another part of the adventure. All right, there's Shriners Hospital. We've got a park up here that we can go sledding at. And the kids love it, and it's not that far a walk back up. And oh, there goes my wife. She seems so collected right now. That is the first time she's gone straight all day long. Seriously, a lot of people say, hey, Todd and Erin, is it safe to do that? And I just want to point out the fact that, yes, it is. Parents have come up here and safety-proofed this this sledding area. I'll show you one of the pieces of safety right here. You can see right here that on this tree there has been a brace put up against it, so in case any of the kids hit it, see, like this, the blood will be wiped off easily because of the plastic. So everything has been thought of.